I saw a definition of anxiety once and I loved it. The hallucination of what might possibly go wrong in the future. If you're going to do the what if game, do it phenomenally.
Ah,
Do it. What if I win the lottery? What if I meet the right person? What
yeah,
if
flip
this
it.
is the best job? What if? Flip it. Do it right. Do it in a way that dials into the universe to give you what you want.
Welcome to the Conscious Radio Network, where curiosity meets conversation. Get enlightened and have fun. Share the experience with friends, family, and anyone ready for thought-provoking dialogue. You can watch our shows on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, or connect with us on X, Instagram, and TikTok. Our podcasts are also available on Libsyn, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other major platforms. Be sure to visit our official website at consciousradionetwork.com for past episodes, upcoming shows, and guest scheduling. And to our listeners around the cosmos, welcome. We're glad you're here. Subscribe, follow, and join the community.
This is the Conscious Radio Network.
Good day, everybody, wherever you might be on this spaceship we call Earth. Welcome to Conscious Radio Network's The Séance Podcast. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Paul Meckes. If this is your first time tuning in, please click like, subscribe, comment. Most of all, don't forget to listen and follow wherever you listen to your podcasts. And also check out our exclusive broadcast, Collective Awakening on Ethereal Networks at etherealnetworktv.net on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and Android TV. Today's going to be a good one. Today, we're going to dive into a powerful idea that could completely change how you experience your life. The difference between living at effect and living from cause. My guest is psychologist and NLP trainer, Dr. Heidi Heron. And she spent decades helping people uncover the unconscious patterns that quietly run their lives. We'll explore how recognizing those patterns can shift you into a more conscious, intentional, and empowered way of living. Let's welcome to the seance, Dr. Heidi Heron. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for having me. It's great to be here.
Great for you to have us. Yeah, that too.
Wonderful to be seen.
Right? It's everywhere. Large audience. Psychologist, NLP. You've got your doctorate in psychology. Give us a little bit of a backstory how this started for you.
All by accident or synchronicity. I think that's how they all say it.
Yeah.
I live in Sydney, Australia. I've lived here for a long time. I moved here with my family when I was like 13 and always wanted to be a teacher. And I went back to Colorado, which is where I'm originally from. I went to college and started the education route, but also I was doing my degree in psychology and communication. And lo and behold, I never became a teacher. But I did, with that degree, go into human resources
Yeah.
and enjoyed the people side of things, but realized there was probably a little bit more resources than human sometimes involved in it. And one day I picked up a book about NLP or Neuro-Linguistic Programming, and it just blew my socks off. There was so many elements in there about communication, about psychology, about simple things. And I learned more about people through probably reading that book and a couple of others. And then I started on my journey and learning neuro-linguistic programming and still working in human resources and using some of those skills there, but mostly for me and uncovering some of my patterns and transforming some of my beliefs and who I was, kinds of things. And I remember one day going, you know what? I just need to do this with people. I need to do this with people. So I started in 1999. I started my own therapy practice.
Yeah.
And later on, did my doctorate in clinical psychology. I started training NLP in 2000, 2001, and have been doing that around the world. And it's phenomenal to be able to help people just uncover their true self and get back to their wholeness, get back to who they are, live unapologetically themselves. And it's fascinating. And I love learning. So a couple years ago, I started just dabbling in various things and ended up with a master's in consciousness. because there's so much more out there that we just don't understand and know, or we don't know. I think we understand it, even if we don't know what we understand.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing even when I got into metaphysics, I started getting my doctorate in that. There's so much you get to learn about yourself
Yeah.
and about your own psychology, why I think this way and why do I do this? Why do I do
Yeah.
that? And then you expand that out into the collective of
Yeah.
all human races. Okay. Yes, this definitely,
Ah.
right? Yeah. Uh,
Totally. And that was that whole thing, and I'm sure that's partially what makes you great at this, is that interest in why do people do what they do. And I've always been fascinated at that. And what I've learned in the past almost 30 years is it's pretty simple. It's
mhm.
pretty simple. And around the world, I think I've trained in 18 countries now. It's just around the world.
Wow.
I can say that people pretty much want the same thing. We want to be happy. We want to know we're okay. We want to know we're safe, and we want to be ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Ultimately finding that secret. It's like, why? Why? Why am I here? Why?
Yeah.
What's this all about?
And hopefully it's never an answer that ends with, there's got to be more than that.
Yeah.
We'll know one day.
One day. Hopefully it's not going to be our last, but
Any day
hopefully
soon.
one
Yeah,
day.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'll come back and tell you. Or you do the
Right?
same.
Yeah. Yeah. What is the biggest myth that people believe about taking control of their lives?
I would say two. One, that it's hard. And I'm sure there's a second one. But the first one, definitely, I think people have a belief that it's hard, that taking
Mm,
control of their lives is going to take more responsibility, take more, and it does. It does take a little bit more responsibility, but it doesn't take more in effort. It actually takes less. And I think that would probably be the second one, is less is more. Because if I don't have to filter for what are they thinking? Is this okay? Should I do this? Should I say this? Is this right? Is this wrong? Oh my God, it's not perfect. If I take away those layers, oh my God, life is so much easier because I don't have to think about those things. So less is more.
yeah.
And it's not harder, it's easier. The hardest part is the starting part of taking back your life, because so many people get comfortable in the certainty, and we'd rather the comfort in the certainty, knowing that whatever's happening right now sucks,
Yeah.
than the uncomfort of the uncertainty.
That too
And
is,
phew,
yeah, because we all have that inner dialogue going on that we just can't seem to shut off. We
yep,
can't turn that off and just
yep,
concentrate on what really should be at focus.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, that could be pretty tricky. For our listeners, what is your thought on listening to that inner dialogue, but have some level of discernment?
Discernment is key. I think that when it is, in my opinion, when it is something that is coming from that higher conscious or unconscious space, it's a different voice. It comes from a different place. There's a different resonance to it. There might
Mm,
even be a different I versus you, different language, different quality of it. Versus when it's, that's stupid, you're never going to do that. It's a different voice. I
yeah.
know for me, I used to have a very loud internal negative voice,
Mm,
and it was more head based. My intuitive voice, my higher conscious voice, usually comes either from my heart or from my gut, or sometimes a little bit behind me. But it's not that internal, that's dumb, you're never going to do that. What are they going to think? You can't.
Yeah.
Zip, zip it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
by the
and it's
way,
more
my
of a
that voice
duty
for
too.
me is much quieter these days. Much quieter these days.
Yeah. And two, when it's authentic, because you can almost feel the cheerleader behind it. They're like, "Oh yes, yeah," and the
It was
excitement because
your
you
your
start to build
applause
the
that you had for me before. Yeah.
yep, you start to build the excitement. Like as soon you don't know exactly what it is that you're trying to. You get the idea or you get that voice, and then suddenly you almost immediately feel the emotion behind it, but
Hmm.
you're not quite sure
Yeah.
why until
Right.
oh wow, yes.
Oh. Yeah. And it's about trusting that. And if we can learn how to trust that, and I don't know if trusting means doubting the other one, but maybe
Yeah.
if there is, I think if I could share, if one person heard this next line and went, okay, that was worthwhile, if I could doubt it but question it and recognize that little internal dialogue is actually there to keep me safe,
Mm.
not hurt me, harm me, or hold me back, then I can go, safe from what? And am I safe now? Am I already safe? Because so much of the time, especially if we've had some sort of trauma in the past, and trauma doesn't have to be big, it just have
Yeah.
to set us off kilter. Then there's this almost like hyper vigilant security guard inside of our minds going, is she safe? Keep her safe. Everything, keep her safe. Keep them back. Keep them back. And so it's holding us back and taking that internal dialogue and upping it a notch. But that was probably a moment in time that we needed to be safe like that. And
Yeah.
our unconscious mind decided, all right, I've got a job now. I'm going to keep her safe regardless of what's going on. And it creates anxiety and depression and fears and learned helplessness and imposter syndrome and perfectionism. And those are all mechanisms of safety. But when we can recognize and find we're safe inside, I'm okay, I'm okay, then
Mm.
we can give the day off to that security guard
Yeah.
and get on with life. Get on with life. It's there to keep you safe.
And that goes for we're all guilty of it. Is the part of the if. What if this? What if that? Now we always say
Mm-hmm.
that. What if this were to
Mm-hmm.
happen? And I keep
Mm-hmm.
internally telling myself, if does not exist.
Yeah, I saw a definition of anxiety once and I loved it. The hallucination of what might possibly go wrong in the future. If you're going to do the what if game, do it phenomenally.
Yeah.
Do it. What if I win the lottery? What if I meet the right person? What
Yeah.
if
Flip
this
it.
is the best job? What if? Flip it. Do it right.
Yeah.
Do it
Yeah.
right. Do it in a way that dials into the universe to give you what you want.
Yeah. How do unconscious beliefs quietly shape our decisions every day?
They do so in a way that either propels us or holds us back. So if we have a belief, if I have a self belief that I can do this, that's a wonderful belief, and that will quietly propel me forward. But if I have a belief that goes, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I'm good enough. Can you do that? I self-doubt, I question, it'll hold me back. It'll hold me back in a way that I might not even know why. And then I'll go, that's just how I am. Oh,
Yeah.
that's just my type of person. And so that quiet erosion, I have to change your question a little bit, sorry, but I think we're born whole. I think we're born complete. And then at some point these layers get put
Mm.
on us and their beliefs and ideas and behaviors and concepts about who we should be, not who we are, who we should be. And then as we take those layers off, we become more whole and more who we are. And the closer we can get to that, and I think that's part of our purpose is to get back to wholeness.
Yeah.
And I think based on your book, you would probably agree. Let's get
Mm-hmm.
back to that space of wholeness. And then it doesn't matter. Then those beliefs that are propelling us help us versus hold us back. But I would say that those quiet beliefs are not so quiet when you start noticing them.
Yeah.
Because I would say 80, 90%, I totally made that number up, but it's a good number.
It
80
is.
to 90% of everything we do, thank you, I think is based on the beliefs that we hold about ourselves in life.
Yeah, I definitely touched that on my book. It is all these programs that we're given as we come into this world and we grow up, and it's interesting too because for most people it goes in reverse. When you get to that certain point in life, some people call it midlife, all that stuff slowly starts to melt away.
Yeah,
And you start to realize through experience, like
yeah.
that didn't mean nothing.
It didn't mean me. Why was I worried about that?
Yeah.
Why was I worried about that? Wow. Or you have the other one. I had a client the other day who pretty much has been together most of it and has hit that point in her life. And she went, okay, I'm really stressing out. I'm like, how come? She goes, I'm 48 years old and I don't know that I'm where I should be. I'm like, okay,
Mm,
apparently you are because you're here.
yeah. Yeah, it could
you know?
just mean a change, a change in
Yeah.
scenery or something. And that's
Yeah.
the
Could
thing.
be anything.
Yeah, I ask people, hey, or I tell people is if they seem stuck or they seem lost or they should be doing something different, I'm like, just ask the universe. Ask. Knock and the
Ask.
door shall be open, and ask.
Exactly. Exactly.
You'd be
And I think
surprised.
also, and be surprised. I think also when we recognize that and this I would say is where most people get to, is I don't want. I don't know what I want, but I know I don't want. I don't want to be frustrated. I don't want to be tired. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be lonely. And all your listeners know that as soon as we're talking about what we don't want, what we want less of, what we don't want anymore, we're just dialing into that. And more
Yeah.
of that comes to us. And so if you can flip it or give it to the universe, if I weren't alone, what would I be? If I weren't tired, what would I be? If I weren't fearful, what would I be? And then we can start tuning in to where we're going. And then we can give that to the universe and let ourselves get there. But if we don't know where we're going and what we want, it's really hard to get somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. We need that roadmap.
We do.
Yeah.
Purposeful.
Yeah. Yeah.
At some point in life.
Yep.
Of it.
What roles does language play in either empowering or limiting us?
I think that we don't put enough credit into the language around us. And by language, I don't only mean the verbal language. There's the nonverbal language too, that how I'm holding my body, how I'm holding my expression. And I don't necessarily mean like closed arms means you're cold, or it might mean you're cold closed. It might mean you're cold. But am I holding my muscles tight when I'm thinking about my job? Is my internal dialogue about what I don't want? Am I answering the question, the very benign question, how are you? And the answer, not bad? What's that telling your mind? There's a little bit of bad in that.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
my favorites are like, don't forget to bring the blah, blah, blah. You're telling somebody or yourself to forget, or don't forget to remember. Forget to remember.
Yeah.
So it's those little nuances that we go, yeah, it's just semantics, it's just words. But every single word, everything we see, say, taste, touch, smell, hear, overhear, said to us, not said to us, comes into our world and we make meaning of it, not consciously, unconsciously. Apparently, there's 2 million bits of information coming into our awareness at any moment in time. And we're filtering it, we're distorting, deleting, and generalizing it, but we're starting to make sense of it in our own world, not consciously, mostly unconsciously. And everything that comes in creates this like chemical effect in our body. So the moment I hear the word fear, whoop, there's a little bit of me, I might not consciously be aware of it, but there's a little bit of me that tenses up simply because of that word, and I know what it means. And so if I'm continually thinking about fear or sad or anxiety or whatever, every day I put the same record on. I need a new analogy. I might break it, I put it back together, put the same record on.
Yeah.
Change the story, change the language, change. The moment you start to change your language, you change your life.
And it's the way words and the spelling, and hence the word spelling, which segues into my next point in the show, is just the word spell. They're spells. We cast
Yes,
spells upon ourselves.
cast spells.
And
Yeah, I had a spell.
right? Yeah. And the way we say the words and hold them, it makes us the wizard. Then the wizard casting
Does.
spells on our own life, with then segues into your book, which is a really cool book,
Lovely.
The Wizard of
Thank you.
Cause. Yeah.
Here's one I've prepared earlier. Yes,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful book, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. So tell us a little bit about book.
I'd love to. I'd love to. The Wizard of Cause, it is about how to live at cause. So we know that, and if you don't know, you're about to, that you can live either in the effect of life or you can live at cause. When you're in the effect of life, then there's the blame game going and the what if game going on. And we're going, yeah, okay, I can't get this new job because I don't have the education. They might not hire me. What if it's not better? Blah, 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 blah. or whatever it is, we're living in effect and life is happening to us. When we live at, cause is taking responsibility for our life. Cause is going, I'm in the driver's seat of my life. If I want a new job, I'm going to do my resume. I'm going to start talking to people. I'm going to apply for jobs. I'm going to tell people why I'm good for that job. Whatever it is, I'm going to create it. I'm going to put it out to the universe. I'm going to sit with this, sit a spell, and make my life happen. And this book has been a book in making for years, and it became way too much. And last year I was like, okay, I am finishing this book. And I looked at my manuscript and I'm like, A, it's way too long, and B, it's really boring. Really boring. And one of the things that I love about it, and then I'll tell you how I changed it to not be boring, is it looks at values, because values are what's important to us in life, and everything, every aspect of life, from our relationships, our career, our time, our money, our health, we have values, and they're words like connection and growth and authenticity. And we have these values and these values words in everything. And the book helps you to figure out, what are your values? What are those things that propel you forward versus hold you back? What are the masks that we've been wearing of the I should be's? And help you to figure out more of who you are. Now, I was in a meeting one day and somebody was talking about a book, and the book was Who Moved My Cheese? And I don't know if you've ever read that book, but there's so many of these story fable kind of things, the fable book that teaches. And I'm like, I love those books. I love those books. I love those books. And so I went, I'm going to turn the Wizard of Cause from this boring how-to self-help thing into a fable book. And so that night I gave it to the universe. I woke up and I've got, okay, here's this character and here's what she's going to do and here's where she's at in her life and here's what happens. And then I just started writing, and the rest of it just unfolded. And literally I wrote it in probably 3 weeks.
Wow.
Because I really think it was just being downloaded.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I still read it now. And it takes me 3 or 4 hours to read. It's not very long to read. But the messaging is phenomenal in there, if I do say so myself, and from the feedback. And it's easy to read. And I've had men and women say that they could connect with the key character. She's a woman, but people can connect with her because she is us.
Yeah.
With the masks, with the barriers, with those limits, with the language that holds us back. And when we can go, hold on a second, I've got this. I know what I want. I can do this. Then we can be our own Wizard of Cause.
Yeah. I think everybody is guilty of this. I don't know how many times I've said it to other people or even on the show, but it starts at an early age. Is we try to pretend we try to pretend that we are somebody that we're not. It's that mask. And we do it just to make people happy or to be noticed or to be part of the crowd. And I tried and I realized it ain't getting you anywhere.
Yeah. No, and it's harder. It's exhausting.
Exactly.
It's exhausting to hold that. Go, okay, I need to be this. Yeah, I'm working with a client at the moment, just young girl, like 12, 13.
Yeah.
And she's great. She's amazing. She's amazing. But there's a lot going on in her head that she doesn't want to bother her family with. And so she doesn't tell her parents what's going on with her. And I'm like, why? And she's like, I don't want to interrupt their lives.
Oh.
But they want to help you.
Yeah.
They want to help you. And so she's coming around to that fact that they just want to help and it's okay to share. But she's putting these layers and being, nope, I'm strong, I'm good. And then she goes in her bedroom and cries.
Wow.
Luckily she also cries with me, and I'm hoping at some point she's done enough crying that her family found me. But yeah, very young age, and that's probably old, 12 or 13, to start putting those layers on. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who should I be? Who do I have to be? Instead of who am I? Not even who do I want to be? Who am I?
Yeah, and look at the things that you're already doing, your interests in life. What do you like to do? I like to paint. I like to draw. I like to, do this, do that. Those are the things that kind of lead you. Those are the leads. Those are The yellow bricks and the yellow brick road, so to speak.
Thank you for continuing the metaphor.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that one of the things that I think I talk about in here is just finding those things, those interests, but the value kind of things. And you know what? I think that we've been told you can be anything you want to be, which I think we can for sure. But I think that there's also another element to it is I don't always have to get paid to do those things that I love. And some people get very frustrated because I want to be an artist, I want to be a musician, but I can't make a living doing that. Who cares? Go and get a job.
Yeah.
Find your values for a career or a job. And maybe it's that I'm giving back and I'm making money and it's using my skills and I'm learning something. And I go and do a job that I get paid for, and that gives me the money and the time to do the art and to do the music and to do the other bits and pieces. And I think there's this misnomer that I have to love what I do. You have to not hate what you do,
Yeah.
but love something in your life that you do. It doesn't have to be your job.
Yeah.
And I get worried when it is people's jobs because then we become that workaholic and we become our job and we forget about the other thing called life.
Yeah.
When they came up with the term life-work balance, they separated the two on purpose.
Yeah. And it's amazing too. You'd be surprised at hobbies that people might have. Okay, I work a regular job and I do this. For instance, it's podcasts. I work a regular job that pays the bills. It's got nothing to do with
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
It's a decent job, pays good money in engineering, but do I? And I balance
Yeah,
it. Okay,
yeah.
and I tell people too is just stick with it. If you really love to do what you do as a hobby, stick with it, and you never
Stick with it.
know
No.
what you can. There might be somebody out there at the same time too called to the universe, say, I really love, because sometimes
Yeah.
the universe will actually provide you with a monetary
Ask and you
substance
shall
for it.
receive. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And I agree with you, stick with it because even if you never get paid for it, you love it. And if it feeds your soul, because I also know that so many times when people start to try and monetize what they love, then they stop loving what they love because then it becomes work.
Yep. Yeah.
That sucks. So uncover the layers.
Yeah. Yeah. It was crazy too. It's every time after I started Conscious Radio Network 15 years ago. Actually, no, in 2015, 11 years ago.
Okay.
And originally as radio, but then 5 years ago as a podcast. You'd think I definitely never get bored, but it's like, all right, just before the show starts, you get that stage fright. It's like you get that nervousness, those butterflies in the stomach. Still, it's like it's like new all the time. There's something.
I'm the same. Anytime I meet a new client, there's a little bit of the butterflies.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of presentations and training and before butterflies. But I think that those butterflies aren't there to warn me. They're there to go, you want to do a good job, go for it, girl.
Yeah.
Have fun. And then my butterflies fly in formation and away we go.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that. I love the jitters because I think it does mean I want to do a good job. It doesn't need to be perfect. I got rid of that pattern. But I want to do a good job. I want whoever is reading, listening, learning, whatever, to get it.
Yeah. It helps.
And if somebody can pick up one thing that I've put down, I've done a good job.
And it helps keep the excitement there. Because if you were
Can you
bored
imagine?
doing it, if you didn't get those butterflies, then you'd be bored doing it, and you wouldn't like it anymore.
Look, I do a lot of podcasts, and I think there's a few of those people out there too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So for those who are watching, they can see your website scrolling at the bottom. Where can people find you and what they can expect when they go to your website?
Yes, if they go to Wizard of Cause, they can find the book. HeidiHeron.com will give you information about how to work with me, how to train with me, what I do, and you'll find me on all of the social media channels as well.
Nice. Nice. Can people really change deeply ingrained patterns later in life?
Oh, yeah.
So you can train an old dog new tricks.
You can indeed. In fact, I'm going to change it. You can train an old dog. We need to come up with a new term here because it's not really new tricks.
Or it's not teaching. It's like you're kind
You're
of
uncovering.
uncovering.
There
Yeah.
was, I don't know if it's true or not, but there's a little story that says somebody asked Michelangelo how he created the statue of David. And he said, I didn't really carve the statue of David. I just took away the marble that didn't fit.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's what we're doing. Those old dogs that have these beliefs and these patterns that have been ingrained for decades and decades, it's not actually a new pattern. We're releasing your natural pattern.
Yeah.
We're releasing what might not have been there since you were 3 years old. But you've always had it. It's just been covered up somehow.
Yeah. The
So
statue
let's
was
let that
hiding
light
in all
through.
that stone
Yes.
and just needed to. There it is.
Yeah, exactly. Needs a few ninja moves and
Yeah.
pops it goes. But yes, there are so many things, and so many of those things meaning patterns and beliefs and ideas about ourselves and the world, they were created in an instant, And
Mm.
to keep us safe, to help us along the way, but not meant to hurt us or harm us or hold us back. And oftentimes when I help somebody find a pattern, and we use in NLP, we use this technique, or many of them, close-eyed visualization type one that takes us back to the root cause of where a pattern began. And I don't know if it's real or if it's just imagined. It makes no difference to me because whatever it is connects with the chemicals and the feelings and the emotions, and we release that. But there was this one girl that had so much fear and apprehension about life and about people and trust. And she went back to this movie in her mind where she saw a little kid, probably herself, in a stroller being pushed. Actually, she didn't. It made me back up. I ruined the whole story. I gave the punchline away. She saw this little kid like crying hysterically and nobody was around to help. And she's, I'm alone, nobody cares, crying. And then the movie panned back and she saw herself or a little girl sitting in a stroller being pushed through the shopping center. And she wasn't alone. She was just facing the other way and couldn't see whoever was pushing it. And she needed something and they weren't responding. And her unconscious mind, in a nanosecond, made a decision. Can't trust them. They're not there. They can't help you. And so often I ask, if that happened, do you think your unconscious mind meant to have that fear in the moment or in your lifetime?
Yeah.
And the answer is always for the moment. But it lasts lifetime until we recognize it, shift it, change it, evaluate it. Yeah.
Now,
We're in charge of our mind, therefore our result.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, for those out there, I'm sure most of our listeners and audience knows what NLP means, but NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic
Maybe.
Programming.
Yes.
However, the P being programming, are you really programming? I see it as something else. Like you're not really programming, you're like deprogramming.
Reprogramming. I think here's my real quick definition of it. So it's my tool. Like if I'm talking to a client, it's my tool to help them. If I'm using it with me, it's my tool to help me. If I'm understanding and communicating better, it's still my tool.
Yeah.
But it's a tool that understands how the language of your mind creates the patterns and programs that you run in life. And when I can understand how the language of your mind has created that, we can enhance those patterns and programs that work really well. We can transfer them to another area of life. We can change them completely, and we can recreate new programs or new patterns of emotions, beliefs, behaviors, and
I like
thoughts.
the word pattern better. Patterning.
I like pattern.
Neuro-linguistic patterning.
Yeah. Or psychology, neuro-linguistic psychology.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think any of those P's are better than programming. But yeah, it's an unfortunate name, but it's an amazing tool.
Yeah. 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 I know a few of them in the Orlando area, and quite a few I've talked with. I've wanted to, something I've wanted to get into, but I've got jack of all trades, a master of none. And into so much stuff. It's okay.
Enough.
Slow down.
Is it ever enough? Is it ever enough?
Right.
I've got a couple more other books, 30 Days to NLP and You Must Learn NLP are also books that you'll find on one of my websites, but
Nice.
and training and all kinds of fun stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
at some point,
Yeah.
go out there,
Definitely.
learn it. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. You work on yourself, work on yourself and see how it works. And you'd be like, all right, I'm ready.
That's why I do what I do. And that's really what intrigued me about it when I first learned about NLP, because seriously, all the way through my doctorate, I've never actually learned how to help people. I've learned how to diagnose. I have
Yeah.
learned how to help people cope. I have learned how to do different tools that help people be okay with their thing. But the general aspect of so much of psychology, because I'm about to rip the whole thing apart. So I apologize if there's any psychologists out there. I do
Mm.
appreciate the work. But like I wrote a paper on, it had to be a paper on a fictitious character, and we diagnosed them using 3 different modalities
Mm.
and created a treatment plan. And so I chose the ugly duckling, the swan that's born into the duck's family.
Yeah.
And the different modalities that I looked at, I also looked at NLP as a 4th one, but they had to be more traditional psychology things, all diagnosed him with like personality disorder or various things, and all gave a treatment plan so that at the end of the day, he could be a very pretty duck and accept himself as a very pretty duck.
Yeah.
Not one of them asked him, what does he want? Not one of those treatment plans recognized that he was a swan. And not one of them helped him to transform and change his identity into who he truly was.
Yeah.
It's kind of if you're anxious, you'll always be anxious, but let's cope with it. If you're depressed, you'll always be depressed, but let's help you cope with it. And there's a place for it. There's a place for psychology and traditional psychology and counseling and meds and all that kind of stuff. But for me, when I figured out about NLP, like I used to be really shy and really self-aware and self-conscious and lacked a lot of confidence and belief in myself. And those were just layers. They were just layers that I was like, nobody's really watching me.
It's true.
I'm judging me, but maybe I shouldn't so harshly. Just do your best. Have fun. Have fun. And now one of my values is fun. And if it's not fun, I'll do it for a little while, but it's not going to get me out of bed.
Yeah. What is one small daily practice that can help someone live more intentionally?
Ooh, I would say 2 things if I can do 2 things. One is connect with yourself every day, however that means. For me, I have an alarm that goes off on my phone. This is not my phone, this is my watch. It doesn't really help if I'm away, but the first one went off a few minutes ago. And it's an alarm. It goes at 7 a.m., 9 a.m., 9, 10, 11, 11, 1, every 2 hours is basically what I'm trying to say, until about 5 or 6, 7 p.m. And it's a reminder to connect back with me. And so when I feel the buzz of my thing, I come back in and I just breathe in through my heart and exhale
Yeah.
love. So it helps me to connect back with me because it's so easy to get into autopilot. And so there's at least 5 or 6 reminders every single day to come back into me, whatever I'm doing. Take a breath, reconnect, send love into the world. And the other thing is know what you want. Every day, what do I want today? And I set a daily intention. I used to write at the end of the day, Dear Diary, here's how today was. And this is like going, hey, universe, here's how today is going to be. And so I set an intention. What do I want today? What do I want today? Know what you want
Yeah.
and connect with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Be intentional. The emotion.
Yeah.
Law of attraction.
Law of attraction, absolutely. I don't think it's possible to be connected with ourselves all the time. I don't think it's possible
No.
to be intentional all the time. But if I've got some sort of a mechanism that can help to remind me, are you being intentional right now? Are you living? Are you doing? How are you going? What do you want? Then I think that is good. Because otherwise, 5 days go by and I'm like, oh yeah, have I eaten? Or where'd all
Yeah.
the chips go?
Yeah.
One of the two. Where if I can step in and be more intentional with me, there's so much to be said for that. Live
Yeah.
at cause.
Huh. Last but not least, how does someone know when they know a belief they hold is actually limiting them.
If it limits them.
Some people won't even know that they're
Some
being
people don't.
limited. They
Yeah,
think, well,
totally.
they got
And
everything.
I think, yeah, because they think that way about everything, and they also
Yeah.
go, that's just how I am. That's just how I am.
Yeah.
And I think the question that we can then ask ourselves is, how do you know? I can't do this. How do you know? I've never done it. Yeah, but does that mean you have that internal dialogue with yourself? Because it's always going, make it useful. I can't do that. How do you know? I've never done it. Does that mean you can't do it? I don't know. Then you don't know. And away
Yeah.
goes that. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough for that. How do you know? Because Jimmy's better than me. Yeah, but what does Jimmy have that you don't have? He has got experience. Could you get experience? Yeah. So we don't have to have other people to have these conversations.
Yeah.
But that one question, how do you know? What is the evidence of this? And you can bust beliefs
Uh-huh.
all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah.
But how do you know? It holds you if it feels bad. There's going to be a tightness. I know when I'm being held back, things go astray. Either there are too many thoughts in my head, or there's a heaviness here, or there's a bewilderment in my tummy. Pay attention. Pay attention. You know, there's 5 universal truths that I can think of. We have to eat, sleep, breathe, go to the bathroom, eat, sleep, breathe, good, and something else that have to do with bodily functions. Eat, sleep, breathe, go to the bathroom. It's something other than die. That's like what happens at the end of all of it. But there's a 5th one.
Yeah.
Everything else is a choice, conscious or unconscious. So if I think I can or can't, ask it, question it, get to know it.
Yeah. Yeah. Very powerful. Before we wrap up the show, before we come to a close, what do you have to offer as a takeaway? Some words of wisdom for our audience today.
Ooh, words of wisdom. Probably repeating a lot of what I've said before, but know what you want. The more you can know what you want, or as Stephen Covey said, start with the end in mind. That gives us the ability to give it to the universe and receive it in life. If we don't know what we want, we can't dial into it, we can't step into it, and we won't even know when we've achieved it.
Yeah.
Know what you want.
Yeah. That almost segues into another question, even though it was a close, but not really. Someone once told me, don't set too many goals. It's always good to have goals, but if you set too many goals, you at the same time, too, you limit yourself. You set the goal and be like, all right, this is the goal.
Yeah.
But then you're like, okay, you get to the goal, be like, I could do more. But you're like, I did the goal. I'm done. No, you're not. Are you? Really?
That's one of the things our mind there's the programming thing. It's programmed to continually seek more and more. And so people that have that growth mindset are more likely to expand the goal. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as we recognize and celebrate where we got to, celebrate those achievements. And it doesn't have to be a big, loud celebration, just a acknowledgement, a good job, an atta girl, I'm proud of you, well done.
Yeah.
And so many people don't do that. They'll do it for other people, but they don't do it for themselves.
Yeah, we don't
And
celebrate ourselves.
We don't. One of the exercises that I give to some of my clients is gratitude, but 5 things that you're grateful for. But I'm going to call it prouditude, like 5 things today that you are proud of. And it's hard for some people. And if it's easy, I don't give that homework. If it's challenging, like, oh God, 5 things, and it needs to be different than yesterday. It can repeat the day before, but it needs to be different from yesterday. And then they start to get into this mindset. It starts to change that mindset of looking for the stuff that we can be proud of. And the moment we recognize we're proud of it, again, the chemicals that come in with pride come in, and that boosts our self-esteem, our self-belief, our self-trust, our self-love. And it was so cool. Many years ago, I got a call from, or probably an email from a past client. And she said, I've been doing the proud, and I've taught my daughter of the proud. What are you proud of? And she was probably 5 or 8 or something like that when the email or phone call came through. And what it was is that she had said, the little girl said to one of her friends, "What are you proud of today?"
Mhm.
And so she's now sharing that with her little friends of how cool is that? How cool is that? What are you proud of today?
Yeah. Oh,
Start young
yeah.
and start old. Just start.
Yeah. Just start it. Start. Wow. Whew.
Good conversation.
Yes. Yes. Heidi, thank you, my friend. Thank you for being with us today and sharing your work. And excellent.
My absolute pleasure. Absolute
You're
pleasure.
welcome. You're welcome.
Thank
From
you
one
very much.
doctor to the next.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank
You
you
are
to all
very
your
welcome.
listeners. I hope you picked up even one thing and made my day.
Yep. And everybody out there listening, I hope you share your comments. If you have any questions for Dr. Heron, let her know. Ask us a question. We'll pass it on, wherever what it is. And go check her out, wizardofcause.com.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for joining us at Conscious Radio Network for the Séance. Until next time, we'll see you then.